Hey there. How's it going? I decided to get a quick stream in. I'm on staycation. I'm house sitting for my sister and brother-in-law. Been a couple of days, so I thought I would try to let you guys know I'm still around. This will probably be like maybe 20 or 30 minutes long. This is a picture that I started quite a while back. Character my brother came up with. He's a boxer, obviously. Uh, he's a badass. This guy down here, I'm not sure who he is, but he lost. But I'm gonna be inking this, and I'm sorry for the poor quality and lighting. Maybe I can put on a filter and that will help. Does that help? I'm gonna stick with that. So today I'm going to be using this kuretake bimoji. Hey Scotty, thanks. And I appreciate the continued support. I'm going to also be using a couple different Copic multi-liners and some good old-fashioned microns. These are all really good to use for inking. So, let's see if I can get this started. And I might zoom in a smidge. Hopefully, you can pick up what I'm laying down here. You know, on my art table and the bad lighting, I'm sorry if this comes out bad, but I'm going to try my best here. Very awkward angle. Ooh, already kind of botched it. Oh, and I'm also going to be using these probably quite a bit too. The white jelly roll pens. These are awesome. Although sometimes when I lay them down, and I don't know if anybody out there knows what I'm doing wrong, sometimes it will lay it down, but it brings up the black ink, or it appears to bring up the black ink. I don't know. Just got done watching a video by Richard Friend. I have not seen that Comedy Central video. I saw him do a video about it. Let me just say, I'm not surprised at the route that they decided to take. Spin is always going to happen. They like to edit videos and make people look stupid, but I will definitely see if I can find a copy of the actual video. Comedy Central. It's supposed to be comedy. Was it at least funny? My guess is probably not. They really de-emphasize the comedy aspect, and it's sad. Has more downvotes than up. Well, you know, I'm not too surprised. I don't know if you guys can hear that. I got a cat running just back and forth. They named him Zim, but they should have named him Zoom, because he just blasts back and forth across the living room. know it's kind of a bummer. I kind of like Jim Jeffries, but he's kind of a dope on some things. And I think when it comes to comedy, you should try to stay neutral. And, like Richard said, he's like, there's supposed to be a surprise element in comedy. Otherwise, it's not comedy. You're just saying things. Yeah, I have no doubt that it's deliberately, it looks deliberately edited. I actually can't wait to check that out because, it's like his first real appearance anywhere. And, people harp on things that he said in the past and little things. I don't think he's a bad guy. Though there's times I disagree with him. Quite frankly, my brother's probably the person I agree with the most, and I disagree with a lot of stuff with him. He always says, "Oh yeah, I like so and so, but man, I really disagree with their politics." And I say, I that's the thing. Everybody disagrees with everybody's politics at some point. The main thing that you got to remember is just try to be cool with everybody. Life is way too short to take seriously sometimes. I don't know. I was watching Owen Benjamin's clip about um, James Gunn, and I'm just like, all right. I don't think you need to get that upset over jokes, but hey, they fired him, so there you go. I mean, what else can you say about it? The good thing about this pen is if you mess up on a straight line, it's really easy to double up on your lines. Um, they had other ones of different sizes. Definitely gonna try to get more of those when I get back into town. Well, that's let's see, what's today? Wednesday morning. Yeah, probably tomorrow evening that I get back home. Yeah, he's really hit and miss with the movie choices that he likes. Yeah. Uh, Cause I never know what he's gonna like or what he's gonna review or talk about, and I'm just like, eh. I agree with almost all of that. Didn't he like The Last Jedi the first time he watched it? Maybe I'm thinking of someone else. Um, what was the other one? Yeah, that is crazy. My brother loved The Last Jedi, and then I argued with him how it's objectively bad. Like, whatever the hidden politics aside, it's just a poorly done movie. And then after arguing, he watched it a couple weeks later again, and he goes, "Nope, I still love it." All right. Hey, man, to each their own. I don't understand it, but I actually, what was the other one? The Force Awakens. I really liked that the first time, and then I got home, and after seeing it in the theater, I thought about it, and I was like, wow, that was such a generic movie. But all right, it wasn't terrible. It was okay. Really need to study anatomy more. I used to have all the muscle groups memorized, and when I get to the abdominal area, I start second guessing myself. It was just the feeling of wanting to see Star Wars movie again, and then you really, yeah, and then yeah, the story does go downhill. Like it was an all right reboot or continuation, and then episode 8, you just realize that everything that was good about the first one, uh, they completely they literally threw it behind their backs like a lightsaber. So, and that's what I told my brother. I'm like, that was a metaphor for the entire movie. Here's this nostalgic thing that we've been waiting to for years. I'm just gonna toss it behind me. I don't care. I don't care about your feelings or your nostalgia. Goodbye. It's like he was trolling everybody. And then there's people that ironically like the movie. I don't know. I think the thing that upset me the most was how they treated Luke Skywalker. I'm finally going to be able to back Cyberfrog this weekend. Friday morning. just before it gets taken down. So, really excited for that. Ethan is killing it. He is doing such an amazing job with his art. You can tell when he's phoning it in, and this is probably the best stuff he's ever drawn. Hey, you know what's weird is the stream hasn't shut down yet. I don't know what the deal has been lately, but the stream just dies randomly. I don't know if I record my video at too high of a resolution, or or if the internet speed, upload speed just isn't good enough. It's one of those things I'm still trying to figure out. It could just be YouTube. Or the app that I use. I think I was starting to say earlier, yeah, I was watching Richard Friend's video where he was on a Comic-Con panel. Anybody who doesn't know who Richard Friend is, he's an inker for DC Comics. He inks a lot of the big names like John Romita Jr. and Jim Lee, and he's inked for David Finch, and he's very versatile. They've been making memes of DNC's image from the interview, putting things in the background. I'll check that out. Memes is a hobby of mine. I love making them and I love reading them. My sister sent some on Facebook that had some either Trump quotes or Trump-isms, things that he might say. But it had Zap Brannigan from Futurama saying them. And once I read that, put the two things together, I thought, that is too brilliant. Because he is kind of like a cartoon character. That's why I don't hate him too much. I think I find him entertaining. Yeah, Richard Friend, he's a really cool guy. Everyone should subscribe to him if you like comic book art. If you want to break into the business or anything like that, the guy has some really cool insider type videos. He shows you how to ink. He'll show you old work from Bernie Wrightson and old comic book artwork, and just flip through and show you how awesome these guys are. And his name is ironically fitting. He's a very friendly guy. I like him. He's a cool dude. And he's not one of those people that you can get mad at for disagreeing with their politics, because he doesn't get political at all. He sees both sides and just kind of shrugs it off like, I don't really care. I just want to make comics. I just want to talk about artwork and comic books. Which is kind of what I'm going for. I mean, I'll have conversations with people in the chat or answer questions, but I mean, on my own, I'm probably not going to say anything political. Ooh. Switch up my pen. And maybe adjust the camera. St. Patrick White is a good channel for inking and comic book art. Let me write that down. I will definitely check that out. Shane Patrick White. Oh, and someone else I just started watching today. Now I forget his name. I want to say his last name's Rodriguez or Ramirez. I don't remember now. But I think he's only been making videos for about a year or so. And inked over Finch's work. It looks really good too. Yeah. It's a little sloppy there. Oh well. This is practice. I'm not doing anything with this artwork. I guess if I finish it, I'll post it on my Instagram, Paulus Mobus, all one word. And followers on Instagram, if they want a commission, I give them a discount if they follow me. Although I need to start posting more. I usually post what I'm working on at the time, and then I never follow back up when it's done. Speaking of posting artwork, whatever happened to DeviantArt? People still use the... Is that still around? Is that still a thing? I know a lot of people sort of gave that up for Instagram and ArtStation. Oh, you use it from time to time? Oh yeah, you know what? There was someone else on Twitter that I think I started following, but they pretty much only post if it's artwork. And I can't remember their name. But they are so good. They've done some fan art. Now I can't remember what the fan art was. I want to say it was either Red Rooster or Rainbow Brute. I think it was one of the Indiegogo things that's either out or coming out. I'll have to look up his name and plug him sometime. He's also a very, very amazing acrylic painter. He paints animals. Usually pets and dogs, but I think he's painted other stuff. I want to say it's Robert something. Or something Roberts. Look on this guy's face. After dismantling this guy, I don't think he's going to have that kind of a persona where, like, I basically just killed you inside a boxing ring and I don't care. In fact, I think it's funny. No, I don't think that really captures the spirit of the character. Character is actually a very humble person. Someone who grew up on the streets, so he's kind of a roughneck, but he's got a really good heart. And his brother from another mother also grew up on the streets, and they both grew up in the foster care system. And so they lived on the streets during their childhood and teen years. I would say the one. This is Cameron. Cameron, I would say, was probably about 15 or 16, growing on the streets. But up to that point, he had gone from home to home, and he would run away because, although it's kind of a trope that, you know, foster care is really bad and kids run away and all of that stuff, I've seen it firsthand where the people, not all of them, but there's a lot of people that just adopt so that they can get the money that the government hands them. Like, oh, you did a good deed. Here's some money to help take care of the kids. And then they don't parent. I've seen some pretty gross things, like kids doing drugs right in front of me. And I will say, I think the only thing I saw them do was drink alcohol. Sorry, it cut out there. Use what? From time to time, weed. That's what I was talking about when it cut out. Uh, yeah, they were smoking weed. A 10-year-old should not smoke weed. And that's what I witnessed, and I think that's a little gross. And 10-year-olds should not drink alcohol. That's gross. And they were doing it with their parents, like, no big deal. It's just how we roll. And I was a recovering Mormon boy, and that was a little bit of a shock to my system. I had grown up as a Mormon, and I've always had a really soft heart. And the trailer park stuff, yeah, it was. They might as well have been living in a trailer park. Well, and I shouldn't say anything. I'm in a trailer right now, and actually my home is a trailer, and you know. But yeah, I get what you're saying though. I actually use that slur all the time, trailer park trash. But you know, people know what it means. Yeah, I would say the one I live in is not bad. My house is probably the trashiest because it's been there for 40 years, or longer, maybe even like 45 years. The one that I'm in now is it's not bad. The trailer itself is not bad. When they bought it, they didn't mention to my sister that it didn't have any heating or central air, and a bunch of other things, and they tried to say, you know what, you misrepresented yourself, we're leaving, but they can't get out of the contract, so they're kind of screwed. The park itself, I really can't say, because I haven't traveled around. I haven't walked around or anything. But they're not the white trash ghetto trailer park. Because I've seen some stuff at other places. It's like, oh my god, why am I here? Oh yeah, I'm helping a friend because he wants weed and this is where he gets it. Ugh, I'm not doing this ever again. Like, guy, there's normal people you can get that from. Now, if they would just make it legal, I think normal folks that smoke it on occasion, or self-medicate, or are prescribed it so they can deal with pain or insomnia or whatever it is. There's rumors that Trump's gonna essentially legalize it federally. I don't know if that's the case, but that would probably ensure a second term. Because I think people that voted for him will kind of be like, don't do that. But then there's a lot of them that did vote for him that are going to go, no big deal, whatever. I don't care. There are bigger issues. And there's going to be people that hate him that won't be able to say anything because that's one of the things that for young people it seems to make them lazy and unmotivated. A lot of them. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not young, but when I was young, I handled it okay. When I'm not working and I smoke weed, I do become a lazy bum, and so I don't smoke it very much. Besides the fact that it gives me horrible anxiety now. Before it was like an antidepressant. It was a sleep aid. Like it was a miracle drug for so many different things, and I think that's why it should be legal. It has a value to it. It's not. It's not this gateway drug. When I finally told my mom that I smoked weed, I was like, okay, it's not a gateway drug except for this. When I was a kid, I was lied to that you know what, I'm going to put this filter back on. Okay. The way it was a gate drug for me is because I feel like I was lied to as to what weed was. Don't do drugs is what I was told. All drugs are bad. All drugs, they made it seem all drugs were bad and therefore they're all the same. Don't do it. Then I tried weed once I was 19, 20, and then I was like, oh well, I was lied to. What else was I lied to? And I tried a couple other things and realized, okay, maybe weed's the exception. I don't like this other stuff. I had an uncle that did it, but he was dealing with a lot of stress. You know, yeah, yeah. And that, sometimes that becomes a double-edged blade too. Is like it kind of helps the stress to some point, but sometimes you rely on it, and I don't know. It's not really for me to judge others or whatever, but I don't consider it a gateway drug. If anything, cigarettes are a gateway drug. Alcohol is a gateway drug. Because most people don't start on weed, they start on alcohol or cigarettes. I like beer and wine. Yeah. Yeah, I love wine. I can only drink every once in a while because, especially wine, it gives me a headache when I drink. I just recently got some Zima because that was like the first thing I ever drank when I was in high school. And I wanted to feel nostalgic because they brought it back temporarily. I drank 2 of them, and the rest of it's been sitting in my fridge for a month and a half. And on a side note, I think I understand why so many people live stream, and they live stream for so long, is because the interaction with people is kind of nice. Um, talking with other folks on YouTube. And especially when you're drawing, it kind of goes fast. You're not... I'm kind of relaxing. I second guess my artwork. And I think about it, I'm like, okay, alright, what should I do here? Well, I don't know. And I overthink it. But talking with people as I draw, it's very relaxing and kind of eases that stress and anxiety. And if I get something wrong, no big deal. It's your world. Just a happy accident. The world needs more Bob Ross and less James Gunn. But to be clear, I don't hate James Gunn for making edgy jokes. But I don't feel bad that he was fired. Because at a certain point, like, there's too many people seeing the negative press about it that Disney had to get rid of him. And make no mistake, I think the Guardians of the Galaxy movies are borderline masterpieces. I think those will, for the most part, hold up. Dollar Bin Reviews channel. Dollar Bin Reviews. I don't think I have. I will write that down as well. Dollar Bin Review. I think I might have heard of them, but no, I haven't actually watched. Kind of a Bob Ross thing. See, that's what I liked about Ethan Van Sciver's channel for so long, was it was very relaxing watching him draw and talk to the chat, and then he watched The Last Jedi and he's like, nope, I cannot stand for this. Let's talk about this. And he hasn't stopped. I'm not gonna lie, I miss the old format of the channel. But he's definitely worked out an audience for himself. I don't begrudge him. I did at first. I was like, come on, man, get back to the portfolio reviews and your comic book commentaries and that sort of stuff. Your live stream drawing. That's the stuff I like. And then he did, I think it was when he was drawing the double page spread of Cyberfrog. And I came in the last 10 minutes of the stream, and I was like, it's okay, I'll watch that later. You know. And then he doesn't save it, and he condenses it down to like 5 or 10 minutes of like a speed drawing. So that actually was a little upsetting. I really wanted to watch him draw. Gonna give him some cauliflower ear here. He's a boxer after all. Yeah, he lived on the streets. And, took care of his friend Craig. And one day he saves his life. And from that point on, it was just them on the streets. He had abusive foster parents. And Cameron beat the crap out of his foster dad. And they ran away, and that was the last that they were in the foster care system. And then one day, they're in trouble with the law. Cameron's getting into fights because he's very protective, and he's even getting into street fights to make money. And a police officer goes to arrest him and has a life-altering talk with him and says, well, what if we get you into boxing? And you can take some of that energy and be more legitimate instead of bum fights. And so that's what happens. He becomes a boxer. And one day becomes... Or we haven't really... Me and my brother haven't really come out with an exact history to his life, but he becomes I think he's going to become champ, or right before he becomes champ, something happens, and he's out on the town. He's trying to get away from life for a minute, and it's right before his fight, and he beats up some people at the bar. He's trying to protect somebody. And what ends up happening is they try to make an example of him, and even though he was in the right, our criminal system, our justice system, isn't always fair, and he goes to jail. And that's when he learns that he's not exactly what he thought he was. He becomes a monster. He transforms into this alien hybrid, and that's kind of the basis of the story. And one day, me and my brother are going to make this comic and hopefully release it. And with that, I will leave you. I've had an excellent time here on the stream. Thanks for joining me, and I will see you in probably a couple of days. Don't forget to like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Leave a comment, ask questions. I'll try to get back to you. And follow me on Instagram. Peace.